Welcome into the BRSN Insider. My name is Casey Splane. Today I'm sitting down with head wrestling coach Thomas Williams. Coach, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
You guys started off the year 4-0 in your first 4 duels. What did you see from the team in those first couple of months?
The first couple of months, everyone was just pretty much doing their job. The matches that we could get pins, techs, or majors, those guys were coming away with those wins. Big wins. Dylan Scanlon in particular, he's been getting a lot of pins in our dual meets.
What have you seen from Dylan? You lose an All-American and Stephen Loosebrock. What have you seen from Dylan so far this year?
Dylan's really stepped up as a leader this year. He's the first one to practice, very vocal but very positive at the same time. He keeps the mood real light sometimes things are tough and there's like a weird atmosphere in the air. He really keeps it light. But he's a hard worker. He's the most coachable kid I've ever had.
What's it like having a guy like that, especially for the young guys to look up to, maybe kind of mentor a little bit?
It's awesome having someone like that. He's basically like an extra coach out there. The freshmen look up to him. He does everything right. He has a good diet. He's works hard. He's working hard in the weight room, doing everything extra. He's working on his master's degree. Scholar athlete. So everything that the freshmen should be doing, Dylan's doing.
And he helped you guys get a big win at home. Your first home meet duel was against Baker. The first time you guys had beat him here. What was that for you, and how did that feel as you built your program?
That was a big win for us. Baker they finished 4th in national duels this year, so that was a huge victory for us. I gave our guys a lot of confidence after that because, most people did not expect us to win. Our team expected to go out and everyone to do their job, and it ended up that we came away with a victory.
Tyler Mann was also big for you in that duel. What have you seen from him so far as well?
Tyler Mann's really improved a lot this year. Technique-wise, he's a lot more crisp, and really on the mat he's improved a lot. He's been getting a lot of major decisions by turning guys and getting pins that way, whereas he was usually getting big points from his feet before.
Would you credit that to more confidence, more continuing to work on his craft? What would you credit that to?
I think a lot of it is confidence, but I think it's just continuing to work on the mat and working on turns. And after our first tournament, I think it was confidence. He started turning people, and then now he's been really going for that.
You guys most recently had the Missouri Valley Invitational. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was a big tournament for us. 75% of the ranked wrestlers in the country were at this tournament. 15 of the 20 top 20 teams were there as well. So if your guys are doing well at that tournament, that's kind of setting you up for nationals. Anthony Orozco, he ended up winning by major decision over the number 3 ranked guy in the country, placed at the tournament as a true freshman. And we had 3 other guys, Dylan Scanlon, Kevin Kelly, who's new to our team this semester, and Alex Gomez, who's also a freshman. They were all in the match to place. So compared to last year, we just had Steve in place, and no one else was really close to placing, and we had 3 guys right there. So as a team, it's really positive for us, and there's a lot of things we need to work on, and that tournament, really showed us, where everyone's weaknesses are. So we went back to the drawing board and started working on that.
You mentioned Orozco and Gomez as true freshmen, like you said. Have you seen maybe kind of your biggest surprise so far? What have you seen from them in the development that they've had?
Oh yeah, when you have we have 5 freshmen in our lineup, so you don't really set a ton of ridiculous expectations for them. I knew they had the talent level, and their work ethic is, pretty crazy. In practice, I haven't seen 2 workout partners go as hard as them in a while. So, I had high expectations for them, but they've definitely been stepping up. Gomez in particular, from the beginning of the year till now, huge improvement, and Anthony only has 1 NAI loss. So it's been pretty awesome for both those guys.
How exciting is that for you to see 2 freshmen do so well and know that you have them for at least another 3 years?
Yeah, it's super exciting. When I saw that my lineup was going to be mostly freshmen, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a kind of a long year. We're going to have to keep keep working, and it's a process. But I mean, they've really been improving a lot, and it shows. A lot for the future of our program.
You guys have the Heart Duels coming up on January 28th. What are your expectations for that day?
For that day, we just need everyone to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
If the people who are winning win, the people who should get pins get pins. Some people are going to be outmatched. We need them to lose by decision, not give up pins. If we do that, we should come away with a lot of victories.
How confident are you that you can get 1, 2, 3 wrestlers to a regional qualifier and possibly to the national championships?
Well, our region is the hardest one in the country,
mm-hmm.
So you never know what's going to happen. I think having 3 guys qualify for nationals is a super realistic goal,
mm-hmm.
But you never know. Hopefully we have more. You never know with our region, though.
Right.
But I think 3 is a realistic goal, and
mm-hmm.
I'd like to get at least 3 guys through.
How hard is it not to look ahead to that? You have the Heart Duels, but then that looming, you have a chance to reach national championship. How hard is it not to look forward?
It's pretty difficult, and I try to almost never talk about something 2 weeks away.
Mm-hmm.
I try to focus on basically each day getting better. What are we going to do this week to get better and to improve from last week? If you focus on the end result too much, sometimes people freeze up, and once they get to that day, they're kind of like a deer in headlights.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Coach, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
Thomas Williams, head wrestling coach here at Benedictine College on the BRSN Insider.
Benedictine College is a chosen place with a special mission. Chosen to lead students in the classroom and outside it. Chosen to bring students closer to God and to each other. Chosen to build one of the great Catholic colleges in America.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Build character for life at championsofcharacter.org.
Welcome back to the BRSN Insider. I'm sitting down with head men's basketball coach Ryan Moody of the Benedictine College Ravens. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Casey.
Big win last night, 66-61 over CMU. Take us through that game.
Yeah, any win this time of year on the road in the Heart is a good win. It started out ugly. I think we were 1 for 11 from the field to start the game, but our guys hung in there. I thought our defense traveled well. Mm-hmm. We really contested shots well, which is, I think, an understated skill. Our guys stayed in plays and they didn't get many open looks. They got looks, but they weren't open. And when you're having to continually shoot over a hand over and over, I think that wears on you a little bit. And I think both teams were a little tired. Everybody in our league right now is kind of in that grind of just playing so many games in so few days. And so to get that win, our depth helped, and I think that was a big credit to our guys.
You talked about that 1 for 11 start. What kind of adjustments did you make to get going?
Well, we were taking a lot of, number one, early shots.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first guy bringing it down, or maybe the first pass. And that's really not, when we're good, we don't do that a lot unless it's just wide open. And they weren't wide open. And the second thing that we were doing was we were shooting a lot of jump shots, and we weren't attacking the paint, and both on the pass to our post players and then on the drive. So I think, we called a timeout. I'm not exactly sure when.
Mm-hmm.
Really discussed, let's drive it. We took 13 threes in that game, and I think 10 of them or maybe 9 of them were in the first half. I think, we only took 1 or 2 in the second half and just made a concerted effort to drive it to the rim and get it to our post players. And that paid off. We got to the free throw line 25 times. We got to the rim and scored it. So we put pressure on their defense.
Last 8 wins you guys have had, you've held an opponent to under 65 points or fewer. Speak to the defense and the job you guys have done.
Yeah, I'm going to give all the credit to our guys. They've bought in, and honestly, we don't do anything special. We're not we work on it, just like everybody else. But I think our guys have really bought into competing on the defensive end. I mean, defense is a mindset. If you want to compete to stop the team or the guy in front of you every possession, you can defend. I mean, and then there's some technique involved, and then there's a scheme and what we're trying to do. And I mean, we're really just trying to stop people from getting easy shots. And getting back in transition. I mean, the simple things. But I think the biggest credit goes to our guys. They've really bought into competing over the last few games, even the ones we lost. William Penn, Grandview, tough, hard-fought games where we competed defensively. So, that's hard to maintain, but our guys have been able to do it, and I'm hopeful because of our depth and because of our senior leadership, 6 of them, that they're going to continue to do that. Because I do think you can win with defense, even in today's foul, crazy, offensive-loaded rules game. I think you can still really defend and win games.
Speak about those 6 seniors that you just mentioned and what they've done for your program so far.
Jake, Vaquan, Connor have been in the program for 5 years. Eustace 4, CJ 2, and then Andre, this is his last year and only year for us. So it's kind of a mix, right? But all of them are in their 5th year of college. So we've got some maturity, number one. You've got guys that have played in a lot of games in a lot of different situations. There isn't a lot of freak-out moments with our team, offensively or defensively. I think there's a calming effect when those guys play together. They're very confident. And like I said, it kind of goes back to that defensive competing mentality. When we're healthy and those guys are dialed in and competing, defensively we can get some stuff done. But, those seniors, we count on them, this time of year especially. We've got some good young players and guys clearly that are younger that are contributing. But our leadership stems with those seniors, and they've done a really good job up to this point. We still, as much as we've played, we still have 10 left, so it's still quite a grind.
What's been the biggest difference from the team this year to the team last year?
I think health is number one. We were really banged up. Connor Fleming played in 9 games last year. John Harris sat the last 10 games last year. Jake Shauna sat out 5 or 6 games last year. I think that's number one. Maturity has gone up with some of our younger players. We were playing Adam and Thomas as true freshmen last year quite a bit. Christian Hatterley as a freshman was getting his most minutes as a Raven at that point, and so he's a year older. And just strength of these 6 guys. Those guys have all gotten older. It's their last go around and healthy. And clearly Andre Yates has been a great addition to our team, offensively and defensively, and attitude. Great young man. Brings a smile every day. Loves to compete. So you sprinkle in a little bit of all that, right? A new fresh face with a lot of competition. Some maturity from guys that have been in the program, and then younger guys getting more mature in their game and in our program, and I think that's kind of been the difference between last year's team and this year's team.
Last part of the season, what are your expectations?
Well, who knows? We're going to take them one at a time. It's such a tough time right now. I think we're up for the challenge clearly, but this is we're in the middle of a 5 starting last night. We have 5 games in 10 days, so we play again at Clark. We play again Monday at home. We play again Thursday at home. We play again Saturday. So, there's not a lot of time to get better on the practice floor. You have to be able to take film. You have to be able to take it to the board. And then I think there's a huge component there of players taking care of themselves, water, food, rest, just getting themselves prepared. So, we're going to take them one at a time. I think the Heart is the toughest, if not one of the toughest conferences in the league. It's a grind, especially, William Penn's very, very good, and Grandview's good, and the rest of us are just, at this point, right now, just grinding, in the middle of that league, even, some of those teams that are, statistically on the bottom. So, expectations are, let's take them one at a time. I know that's coach cliche, but it's the truth. This is our Saturday. Clark is our 3rd road game in a row. We've kind of looked at them in 3-game segments, and we've won the first 2 of these 3 on a road. Bad scheduling by the scheduling gods. It is what it is, but that's a tough road to do. So we're just taking them one at a time. Talk
about that Clark trip. That's a 6-hour trip. What's preparation like? That's a long bus ride to just kind of go with the same day and play.
Yeah, it is. And we got home late last night. Just because of the double overtime game by the girls and just some other things. So I don't think I walked into my house until 2 a.m. last night. And then we're going to practice a little bit today. We're going to leave tomorrow morning, get up there and practice at Clark at about 4:45. Get about an hour on the floor. And even with a 2-day prep, it's about rest. You got to trust the things that you're doing defensively, and having played 20 games, trust that the guys can make an adjustment on the fly, which I thought we did pretty good of last night. So we'll get up there, get rest. It's a 2:00 start on Saturday. We won't do a shoot around or anything. We will literally sleep in, eat, and go play. Rest is Bobby Knight. Back in the day when Bobby Knight was coaching in Indiana, his teams, when they took a road trip, never left the hotel. I mean, they were on their backs or off their feet, resting the entire time. And so with this kind of grind, we're in that mode right now. Let's make sure we're rested, make sure we're prepared but rested.
You talk about that grind, the 26 conference games this year, not only health-wise but mentally. How hard is it to stay in it?
Yeah, I thought it would be really hard. But, the guys have hung in there. I've actually been very impressed by our guys, our staff. I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to stay fresh and not beating them up on the practice floor. And that's easier to do when you've won a couple of games. We lost a couple of tough ones, and we kind of took the attitude that rest is really important and didn't beat them up over it. The guys are competitive, and like I said, I think that maturity really helps. But, with 10 left, it's still so much to be done and so much basketball to be played. I still think time will tell, kind of how this all shakes out. We've got a decent record in league, and we've got a decent overall record, but with 10 to play in essentially 4 weeks, that's a grind. And so we'll see how tough we are, both mentally and physically. But to your mental point, our guys have hung in there. I think we've done a pretty good job. They stuck together. The staff, my coaches, Coach Peer and Coach Johnson, have done a great job getting our guys ready to play. So we've hung in there.
Another thing that have helped them get ready, you guys have established some new technology here in the Ralph Nolan Gymnasium, shot tracker, key motion. Talk a little bit about that and what that's done to help your program.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're literally the only gym in the world right now with an operating shot tracker system and key motion system. And the long story short is we have an alum, Davion Ross, who's an entrepreneur, and him and his partner, Bruce Ianni, went ahead and produced this shot tracker technology, which is wearable tech for basketball players. And it started out as a sleeve that counted your shots and has really morphed into this team shot tracker setup where every player has a sensor. All the balls have technology in the ball, and then there's a GPS system set up in your gym, and we can practice with 18 different balls, 18 different guys. We can do shooting drills. We can scrimmage up and down. We can just do about anything you want. And the shot tracker system charts everything. It's got all the makes, all the misses, all the assists, all the turnovers, all the rebounds. It's really incredible stuff. So we're really excited. The key motion is a film system that is remote, that doesn't use any actual humans, that is able to pan and focus and record every practice, record every game. We're able to broadcast our games and the women's games on Fox Sports Go, along with our broadcast that we do in-house. So it's just adding to maybe fan experience and fans across the nation being able to see Raven games. So we're just blessed. It was a opportunity presented to us by Intel Technology that wanted to put and pay for the technology to go into our gym. And then hopefully, I think they're down the road, they're hoping maybe these two things can somehow overlap, and the data from Shot Tracker can go on to the film and all these things, but it's not quite there yet. So we're just excited to be on the front end. We've probably used it a total of maybe 5-6 times, where we're fully engaged, and it'll be more as we move forward, clearly. I think there's talk of maybe using it in a game, maybe in the next couple weeks, so that both teams are censored up, and we're using a shot tracker ball so that we can kind of see what it looks like. And I know there's a lot of interest from the NBA. There's a lot of interest from BCS schools, high-level basketball, that this is game-changing technology for the industry that we're in basketball. So analytics, it's just such a hot topic, and this just creates numbers and chances for more analytics. So we're excited to be on the front end. We're very thankful that Davion and Bruce included us, and I know our guys are excited. They each have an app on their phone, so when they get done with practice, the stats don't lie. They know exactly what they did and if they did it well, and it's pretty cool. So we're excited to be a part of it.
Awesome. Coach, thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
All right, Casey, thank you.
Head Coach Ryan Moody, the Benedictine College men's basketball team on the BRSN Insider.
Benedictine College is a chosen place with a special mission. Chosen to lead students in the classroom and outside it. Chosen to bring students closer to God and to each other. Chosen to build one of the great Catholic colleges in America.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Build character for life at championsofcharacter.org.
Welcome back on the BRSN Insider. I'm sitting down with head women's basketball coach Chad Folsom here at Benedictine. Coach, thank you for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Double overtime win last night, 101-92. Take us through that exciting game.
It was one heck of a game, I'll tell you. Two very good teams going at it. Both teams making plays the whole night. It was a game of runs. They came at us. We came out strong to begin with, and then they answered and had a nice few minutes there in the last minute, I guess, right before half to get a 7-point lead going in the break. I think we made some nice adjustments at halftime, and our players came out and executed them, handled their pressure better. It was a back and forth game the whole time, and really proud of how our ladies stepped up and made shots and made plays.
Serena had 35 last night. She's played big for you so far this season. Talk a little bit about her and how she's come into her own. Yeah,
she's a force down low. I think she's one of the top posts in the league. And what's great is to see her development. She came in here a year ago with pretty much one post move. And now she's got multiple ways to make moves down there, and she's using all of them. And she's super athletic and can rebound and attack the basket and finishes well. And last night steps out and hits 2 threes as well. So, and of course on the defensive end, she's blocking shots and rebounding. So she does a whole lot for us, and it's nice to see. last year she played behind Shayla, who was definitely All-American, and so her minutes were not there. But this year she's really come into her own and been a great player for us this year.
How much did that benefit her playing behind Shayla and just kind of learning from what she did, not only on the court but maybe off, the work ethic, the practice?
I think it helped a lot, and going against Shayla every day too in practice, and having a whole year to kind of get used to things, so that this year she's ready to go, and she's done an awesome job for us.
You guys are 15-5, 15th in the country right now. What have you thought of the season to this point?
It's been an interesting season. We started off kind of rocky at the beginning. We were having a hard time, just getting used to each other. I think our execution wasn't good. You lose two big time players in Shayla and Jordan Kramer, and we just didn't quite have our rhythm. And then of course Loranda Thomas, one of our top players, goes down 4 games in. So now we're really having to scramble and figure things out. But going into the break, I thought we were figuring some things out. We had Kristen Murphy move over and play some point guard for us. Though we were still feel like not quite in sync. And I think since the break, we've made some other changes and moved Kristen back to the 3 where she's best and can concentrate on scoring for us and playing defense there at a 3 spot. And then Haley Beard's really stepped up as another point guard option. So she and Allie are being able to split time at the point guard. And then Maddie Minnert's also arisen here and really giving us good minutes there at the 2 too. So I think now our rotations really become stabilized and everybody understands their roles. And I think they really have trust and faith in each other, and it's showing out there.
How is this team this year different from the team last year?
Well, they're all different. I think, I guess we're similar in that, we're going to defend. I think, we defend well. I think last year's team shot much better than we do this year. We're not a great shooting team, though last night, hopefully that'll tend to be the way it goes from now on. We shot really well, but this team really rebounds too. I think those 2 things, defending and rebounding, have really been big keys for us. And I think we lead the league in rebounding, lead the league in offensive rebounding, rebounding margin. Defensively, we're up there as one of the top teams on holding teams under, down on defense. So I think those have been our keys, and I think but like all the teams we've had, I think this team's now beginning to gel and beginning to, like we say, be a family, and they're starting to play well together and understand what they're capable of. So we're excited for what's to come.
8 straight wins so far. What are your expectations for the rest of the regular season before conference tournament time?
Well, we got a lot of games left. That's the thing. We got 10 more conference games, so we can't overlook anything. We got to get ready one game at a time. That's been our focus from the beginning. Is that we can't. We're not worried about next week. We're worried about this week, and we're worried about this game, and then we'll be worried about the next game. So we just got to take it one game at a time and get ready for what's to come. So that's the thing. It's a long season, and just keeping our team fresh mentally, physically, and ready to go.
When you talk about that 26 games in the conference season this year, really kind of a grind. What have you guys done, not only health-wise but mentally, to keep everybody sharp and in?
That's a key, definitely. With so many games, and we've had so many 3-game weeks here recently, and we got another one next week. So keeping them fresh, keeping them rested is key, but at the same time, getting them prepared, and I think that's one thing about this team. They do a nice job at taking the scout reports and taking what we do in practice and putting it in the game so they know what's coming. But as coaches, we're really trying to balance that with, like you said, not wearing them out, so that they're fresh and their legs are ready, so they're ready for that next game. So it's kind of a balance, but it's something, everybody has to deal with in our league, and it's just something I think our team does a great job with. I think our coaching staff does a great job. Our assistants do a wonderful job at putting the film together and breaking it down, so our team's ready to go.
Like you said, try not to look ahead. Tied for first in the conference, and especially the run you guys had last year. What's the hunger like to get back there and maybe possibly win the entire thing this year?
Well, that's definitely a goal. It's something we haven't done since 2008, so it's been a long time, and I think that's definitely on the minds of our gals that, hey, we put ourselves in a position now to compete for that title, and I definitely know they want it. So it's going to, like I said, it's one game at a time. I always tell our team all we can do is focus on the next team. We have no control of what everybody else is doing, and all we can do is take care of ourselves.
Next up, Clark. That's a 6-hour bus ride. Probably not a game where you just roll in the same day and play and then leave. What's preparation like?
Yeah, this will be a unique deal for us to go this far. Most of our longest trip before was 4 hours, so 6 hours. Tomorrow we're gonna have to get up, and leave midday. And one nice thing is Grinnell College is up in Iowa, midway point probably from where we're going, and that's where I played in college. So the coach is still there that I played for, and a lot of the staff. So we're going to get a practice in their gym on the way up, so that'll break up the trip a little bit. I think we'll grab dinner in Cedar Rapids on the way up, so we can break that trip up. And, of course, we're going to stay overnight tomorrow night and then get up and be ready to go. The trip back, though, that's going to be a long trip. It's going to be nonstop, 6.5 hours, whatever. But hopefully they'll fall asleep and be rested up because we got another one on Monday after that. So
Fantastic. Coach,
All right.
Thank you very much. Always
Thank
a pleasure. Chad Folsom, head coach of the Benedictine College women's basketball team on the BRSN Insider.
Benedictine College is a chosen place with a special mission. Chosen to lead students in the classroom and outside it. Chosen to bring students closer to God and to each other. Chosen to build one of the great Catholic colleges in America.